Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditaratas charteshvabhigyasvarat tene brahma hridaya adikavaye muyanti atsuraya tejo varimridam yata vinimayo yatra trishargo mrisha damna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jai Ho. So today we are continuing our Vedanta Sutra discussions. We went over the first sutra, which is the introduction, Mangalacharan. Athato Brahma Jigyasaha. Now, therefore, we shall inquire into the Absolute. And the second sutra, which we heard and memorized, Janmadasya Yataha, which corresponds to the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, showing further that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the natural correlation and commentary to the Vedanta Sutra. So that verse we just recited is the first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and likewise the first real verse of the Vedanta Sutra. So the Vedanta Sutra discussions goes in the sequence of adhikarans. Adhikaran means like a syllogism, which is a set of the dialectic discourse method, meaning you start with a statement, then there's a doubt presented, then there's opposing arguments that support the doubt, then ultimately there's a synthesis and a conclusion. Generally, Ved Vyas is presenting the statement at the conclusion, the Siddhanta, the conclusion, and he is presenting the doubts of the opposing schools. So there's 6 darshans in Indian philosophical thought, which also mirror the Western philosophical systems, such as the nihilist school and so forth. So that's why Vedanta is also called Vedanta Darshan, because the darshan is the name for philosophy in Indian philosophical schools. They call it the Sad Darshan, the 6 darshans. So the 6 darshans are philosophical systems are treated in the Vedanta. The ultimate conclusion of the Vedanta is called Uttara Mimamsa, which is ultimately the transcendentalist school. One of the schools is the Charvaka Muni. Charvaka Muni was basically the atheistic school, or what's gross materialistic. He would say that you should beg, borrow, or steal, but enjoy. Do whatever you can. He said, beg, borrow, or steal, but eat ghee. If you have to beg it, borrow it, or steal it, anyhow, eat, enjoy, make merry. So Vedanta Sutra is ultimately presenting the Uttara Mimamsa, which is the transcendentalist point of view, which is the ultimate conclusion given by Ved Vyas. So the first sutra, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, it's answering the doubt in the first Adhikaran. Before that first statement of Athato Brahma Jigyasa, he presents the first Adhikaran, which is, why should we study about the Absolute? What's the purpose of inquiring into the Absolute Truth? One of the doubts presented is that it is said in some places in the scriptures that merely by doing things like following Chaturmasya or by taking Soma, one will attain the heavenly regions. And by following Chaturmasya, it says, or by Brahmins following their different respective duties, then it can achieve immortality. So Ved Vyas, in his first Adhikaran, he presents that doubt, and then he solves it with this verse, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. And actually, in Baladev Vijayabhushan's commentary, he mentions very famous verses that state the importance of approaching Guru. Like in the Govinda Bhashya, he even refers to this verse, Tad vidi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tadvadarshana, that you should inquire into the absolute truth from a source who is actually realized in that truth. That's also showing the quality of guru. Tattvadarshina means someone who's had darshan, real darshan, is not just speculating on it. We mentioned another verse that Mahajano Jena Gata Pantaha, follow the footsteps of those realized souls, not just those who are speculators or who are creating new systems of thought without any realized basis to it. Tarko Pratishta Shrutaya Vidbinna. Anyone who wants to be considered a great thinker has to come up with their own kind of philosophical system or their own way of, their own school of thinking. But if it's not based on ultimate realization, then it just becomes many paths misleading you from the ultimate path of self-realization. So Vedvyas is establishing, no, Atata Brahma Jigyasa, you need to inquire from a higher source of knowledge. And merely performing fruit of action or action on its own, it may lead you to heaven, but it will not help you escape the cycle of action-reaction, performing pious actions, going to heaven, exhausting your pious merits, coming back to earth. Chaturmasya and things like that, they can help you go to a higher position, but ultimately, if you're not, what it also matters the intent. But now Mayavadis, they may chant Krishna Nam, but they don't develop Krishna Prem by chanting Krishna Nam. So the action alone is not everything. The intent is very important. That's why if you don't have a proper grounding in real truth, and then you're not able to map out the true direction or the proper meaning in your life. That's why inquiring from a source of knowledge that really seeks your own well-being is very important. That's why Swami Prabhupada would always write in his letters, "Your ever well-wisher." There's a verse in Sastra that says that the demigods will reward you according to your actions. How you worship them, they will reward you accordingly. But the sadhus, they are dina vatsala, they are the friends of the fallen, and they seek your true benefit, your true welfare. Even Krishna says that yayatamang prapadyante tangstataiva bhajamyaham. I reciprocate with you according to how you approach me. All men follow my path, whether you're an atheist, a gross materialist, or a transcendentalist. Krishna is described also to be eko bahunam yo vidadati kamam. He fulfills the desires of all beings. Part of our desire of being separate from him was fulfilled by Krishna, by him enabling us to be existing in this material existence, thinking that I am separate from God, and I am the only enjoyer, I am like the Ishvara. So Krishna fulfills these desires, but when we approach Guru is Dina Vatsala. Guru doesn't cheat us or mislead us from our true spiritual well-being. That's why it says Guru gives Uttama Shreya, the topmost good, the ultimate good for us. That's why doing Chaturmasya and things where we are propitiating the gods, they may give us even poison if we ask for poison. There's stories of people worshipping Shiva, and one person, many stories, I don't want to get sidetracked, but the point is that you can get a boon, even worshipping Brahma or Shiva, you can get a boon and it makes you a more great demon. They say like wealth, for example, or great opulence, it only accentuates or it exemplifies your traits you already have. It makes you, if you're a good person, you get wealth, you can become more philanthropic. If you're a bad person, you get wealth, you become more demonic. So that's why the internal state of the mind is very important. And without approaching the transcendental source, Guru, who really wants your welfare, and taking shelter of them and under their guidance approaching higher truth, then without that, you'll end up taking those fruits of your action and then using them to ultimately cause your own suffering. So that's why it's important to approach the source of true wisdom who really wants your true well-being. And that is the sadhu. The nature of a sadhu is that they want the best for you. It may not always, there's another verse that Sante Vaisha Chindanti, they may speak in a way that is not palatable to your mind and senses, but it's only for your own ultimate good. That's why Vyasadeva says, Atato Brahma Jigyasa, approach the absolute truth, approach those who are conversant in the absolute truth in order to become realized in that absolute truth. So that's leading up to Atato Brahma Jigyasa, that you should approach a transcendental guru, and that is why we have that verse that we learned. Pariksha lokan karma chitana brahmano nirvidyamaya nastya krita kritena tad vigyanartam sagurum eva bigachit samit pani shrotriyam brahmanishtam. Mundaka 1-12. It's saying that once the Brahmin has realized that the fruits attained by one's own karma kanda or material action for material gain, they ultimately are temporary gains. They cannot, and while the soul is immortal, what's temporary gains only further your absorption in Maya illusion. Therefore, becoming detached from this eternal fruitive activities, one should approach higher Shreya, Uttama Shreya. Therefore, Tad Vigyanartam Sagurum Avibhigachit. When one desires to understand that absolute truth, then he should approach a guru, Samit Pani Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Approach a guru with the firewood of faith in your hands, and that guru should be Shrotriyam, fully realized in all Vedic knowledge, the living embodiment of all knowledge, meaning Bhakta Bhagavat. That guru should be the living embodiment, the living vehicle that is carrying the real message of the scriptures in his own embodied being. And that guru should also be Brahmanishtam. That's why Brahmanishtam means they're so absorbed in the absolute truth. It is like they are iron so long in the fire that they take on all the qualities of fire. That is the real nature of guru. That's why in the 7th verse of Gurvastikam we sing Shakshad Hari Tvena Samasta Sastre. The scriptures say that real guru is non-different from Hari in the sense that he is so absorbed in Hari, he becomes Tadatma. He gets all the qualities of Hari within him. And therefore, Guru is the manifestation of God. That's why we can say that Jesus would say, I and the Father are one. Not that he is God, but he is so absorbed in the Father that the quality and the power of the Father embody him. So that's why Guru is so special. And our acharyas say that Guru is ultimately the manifestation of Krishna's mercy potency, or Radhika's mercy potency, depending on their mood and how they're leading us. That's why Guru is so important. If we want to approach God, we must go through Guru. That's why Jesus even said, you want to approach the Father, you have to go through me. Doesn't mean that you have to only go through Jesus. It means that you must go through Sadguru, the bona fide Guru. So that's why we learn that verse, Pariksha Lokan Karma Chitan. So we'll go further.